Every family has a legacy, and everyone inherits something from their families. For some people, it's a physical attribute like blue eyes or blonde hair or freckles. But for my family, it's mental, and it's a mental illness.
Throughout my childhood, I noticed my mother's mood changing drastically as she started to develop major depressive disorder, and later that turned into bipolar disorder as she experienced some manic episodes.
And I had 4 hospital stays in the last 4 years.
My mom's first manic episode, she started to believe that my little brother was the president, and she would walk outside in inappropriate clothing or just not know where she was or what was going on. She actually, at one point, looked into the mirror and asked me who that person was.
I wondered what I really did those days at home or in the hospital. To this day I wonder, because I have no memory and I hope I didn't do anything stupid.
When she had the disorder, she would just go outside, start blasting my boombox and dance in the middle of the street. She would dance on the grass with no shoes. And I would be like, Ma, get inside. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. She started becoming very extremely religious, having the religious channel on all the time.
She walked around saying, she had to preach the word, or that she had this mission to complete for God.
In 2001, my mom tried to cut her wrist in front of all of us, my younger brother and sister too. And since then, I kind of have a fear of seeing that happen again, and knives and just...
How do you think your disorder affected your marriage?
Oh, it affected it a lot. It almost ended at this time in the summer. We were ready for divorce, we were in the court and everything. But then we realized that it was the mental illness doing this. How do you feel about your wife's illness? The truth, Robin. What do you always say?
Huh?
What do you always say?
What do I say?
You always say, you don't need anything.
It's all in her head.
He says, no, it's in your head. You can control everything. You don't need any of these pills. And that's where he's dead wrong. Sometimes people do need it. I'm the type that they have to control me. They have to keep me stable. And he can't accept that.
My Aunt Valerie suffered from postpartum depression. She had her son about 27 years ago, but I don't know if she got properly treated or it just came back later on.
She had a nervous breakdown, and next thing we know, we got a phone call that she just came out of her drugstore and she swallowed all her pills.
What about Aunt Barbara?
She's a lunatic. But she was hospitalized a lot.
Barbara used to come up here on the roof, and she would think that she was talking to her dead mother, but she obviously wasn't because she was dead.
She saw shadow figurating men, people, in her house and on her roof, and they were telling her to do things.
This building is 4 floors high. I mean, what if she fell? And it's really terrifying to think that, am I gonna hear voices in my head one day that might tell me to jump off the roof or something? Statistics show that women get, women are more depressed than men, but that's because women usually go get help and get diagnosed, while men self-medicate with alcohol.
My father was an alcoholic, an abuser, and my mother kept him anyway.
Many people do not realize that alcoholism runs in families and that you become predisposed to becoming an alcoholic. It's not that it's genetic and that it's like eye color. If your parents have blue, you're going to have blue eyes. It's not like if they're an alcoholic, you're definitely going to be an alcoholic. But you are predisposed, and just having that one drink can be a great fear that you will develop alcoholism, which I struggle with every day, especially in a college setting. People offering me drinks and they say, what's the big deal? And I just have such an intense fear of developing alcoholism since it is in my family.
I am an alcoholic. I stopped drinking 23 years ago, and then I had one episode. The second time I was hospitalized for a suicide attempt because he stopped my psychiatric care. He just stopped the cold and said, "You're not going to the doctor no more, you're not getting medicine anymore." And I tried to find something to relieve the depression and the anxiety, so I went back to drinking, and of course, it's the worst you could do. It just made it worse.
Bipolar disorder has an 80% heritability, which means like 80% of like you getting it is like attributed to your genes. And I think depression has a 40% heritability, and alcoholism has a 60% heritability.
I definitely have a fear of developing this when I'm older, and alcoholism, anything. It's scary, you know? It's genetic, and I don't know if I'm gonna get it.
I can't imagine waking up one day and just not recognizing my own reflection in the mirror or not knowing who I am. Even though depression is normal for many people in short spouts, I start to worry about it going into a major depressive disorder or bipolar disorder. And the only thing I can really do is focus in on what's causing the depression and take an active role in treating my symptoms and taking a new perspective on what's stressing me or depressing me.
Well, my friend, he wants to major in DNA, so he wants to be like a genetic engineer or something, and he promised me he'll like find a way to take bipolar out of my DNA. I'm like, yeah, okay. That'd be great. Yeah, and then he's like, yeah, and I'll make your kids have blue eyes too.